the World Economic Forum. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt they are crashing the world to try to take it over as a one world movement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I said, I don't think this first round I think they're gonna get swept away to a certain extent. And then because of the US won't tolerate it. America's not going to lay down and let Charles Schwab or whatever his name is take over the leadership of America. It's not going to happen. But so I said, I think the first round it's going to get swept away. And I actually believe that America is they're almost like our bulwark, our vanguard. You guys, that's why there's so much attack on the US. If they can break America, they've got the world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And as America's, like Australia's just signed on and everything. I mean, Australia, we're under draconian rule, really. But they've just backed off for a little bit because they have to bring America under. If they can't break America, all this fails.
Yeah.
And so I think where we're at is that's why I believe they've opened your borders. They're burning your food plants. They're printing all your money, giving it out. They're, even the Roe v. Wade, just everything they can do to bring unrest. And, the Democrats are using Roe v. Wade to try to incite violence and even civil war. I mean, CNN and that have been on there saying we need a civil war.
Yeah.
But if they can break America, they'll succeed. I don't think they will, because I think they're underestimating the psyche of an American. They think that they can do this with a big mouth, but the Americans are not going to roll over. But I do think, so anyway, what my point was, I said, this first round, they're going to be swept away. But I said, I think then the currency is going to collapse. And I think out of that currency collapse, because for 20 years, I felt like what God said to me, when I start moving, Scott, you've got 3 years. And after 3 years, major persecution will arise. I think the currency, because I saw that vision when we first met of, money on the streets of Boston this deep that nobody was picking up. And I couldn't understand why no one was picking up. It was like a ticker tape parade. They were throwing it out the windows because it was useless. That I didn't realize that at the time. I just heard they were throwing it out in disgust of the God they'd served so long that had failed them.
Yeah.
I think the currency will collapse. We'll have our move of God for 3 years. And then I think at the end of that 3 years, major persecution will arise. And the only problem with gold, it's the well-trodden path. And the well-trodden path, the governments will tax. Like after the Second World War, the US government outlawed gold.
Right.
And everybody had to turn their gold in. If they know that the main majority of people have got gold bars at home, the government's just going to outlaw gold and you won't be able to use it.
Yeah.
They'll say hand it in. Bitcoin, people over here were looking for. And I think that's what come to me is everyone's looking for the final solution of where they can find their wealth. And I feel like God's saying the final solution is me.
Right.
Today I might say to you gold, and you have 5 bricks of gold come. But then tomorrow I might say to you, all right, get rid of those and go and buy Bitcoin. Then the next day you might say, get rid of your Bitcoin and go and buy. And I think that's what's important, is that we have the creativity.
Right.
We're not investing in fear.
Yeah, it's all about facilitating.
Yeah.
It really is. It's all about being flexible, facilitating, and if God says do this, you do it. It's that simple, It's not holding on to anything,
And they've all gone about their normal lives because I think people just want normal.
Yeah.
And as they can get normal, they think that they're happy.
Yeah.
And if I can use God to keep normal, then I'm happy. But God's saying normal's gone.
It's interesting there in the scripture, God sees Israel, which was in a horrible backslidden state. He still saw them as mighty men, just as he saw Gideon as a mighty man. And Gideon was hiding, threshing wheat. And I still feel there are mighty men of God that, he says, wake them up. meaning we're asleep.